Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, connecting virtually with your community. My name is Stephanie Cote. Hello, I'm via webcam. I'll mute my webcam for the time being because we have a lot of content to cover that you'll want to see a full screen with. I am Programs Officer here at First Nations Oweesta Corporation and Anishinaabe from Michigan. And joining me is my lovely assistant, Brian Cote, Communications Coordinator with First Nations Oweesta Corporation and also Anishinaabe. Just a little bit about Oweesta. We are a national Native Community Development Financial Institution, or CDFI. We're a national intermediary, so we help Native CDFIs across the nation. And Oweesta is the Mohawk word for money or an item of exchange. We help Native CDFIs as well as tribes, tribal departments, Native nonprofits, tribally designated housing entities, tribal colleges, and many more. Some of the things that we do, we provide training and technical assistance. We have a suite of financial education services, and that's what we provide training on, in addition to developmental services for Native nonprofits and Native CDFIs. We also provide lending and capitalization and receive capitalization. And then throughout the year, we'll conduct research on the Native CDFI industry, and you'll see publications come from our organization. Many of our publications can be found at www.oweesta.org. Okay, so up next, I've got a fun poll for everyone to start. I'm going to launch our poll. It's on our current connection. I just want to gauge how everyone's connecting. And don't worry, this poll is anonymous. So if you haven't been able to see everyone in person, no worries. And the poll should have popped up for everyone. Is everyone seeing the poll? Okay, we've got some votes coming in. Great. So a few of the questions we have: who are you currently connecting with in person during this time? So I know me personally, I've been able to see people in my house. The next is, who are you currently connecting with virtually? And I'm connecting virtually with a lot of coworkers and family outside of the house. And then platforms, we'd just like to see what platforms you might be using if you are connecting virtually. We'll give about 30 seconds left. I see 6 attendees have used the poll. We're about halfway there, 15 seconds left. Awesome. And some of our others are coming in. Cisco's WebEx. And yeah, a lot of people, and some other people are using GoToMeeting and another WebEx. Okay, let's We'll end this poll. We've got another fun one. And I'll share the results. It looks like a lot of us are stuck inside and just connecting with our family members. Some of us might have essential jobs where we can go out and we're connecting with our coworkers and supervisors and some clients. And then virtually, yes, you're in my same boat. We're connecting most of the day with our coworkers, some with employees and executive staff. And then half of us are able to connect with clients and community members. And a lot of us are using Zoom. So as you may notice, we are using the Zoom webinar platform. And bear with me, I am our tech support on this webinar as well as the presenter. So a lot of background work happening. Great, okay, so let's dive in. There's, again, like I said, there's a lot of content, so I'll be sharing a few different platforms. Oh, some people are mentioning Google Duo as an option that they use for connection. So what does Zoom offer us? It offers video conferencing and, like I'd mentioned, an optional webinar platform. You can also use chat functions and screen sharing, okay, let's keep calm and dive in. I'm going to be sharing my screen. So this is our webinar option. I want to sign in and show you our free option. So I'm going to log in on my personal account, which is a free Zoom account. I haven't paid anything for this. This is a great option for those one-on-one interactions when you're meeting with someone. So let's say right now, so I've logged in, this is what you'll see. If you've never used Zoom before, but it seems like a lot of people have, I'll keep this very brief. To schedule a meeting, you'll just schedule a new meeting. My meetings, Zoom has options. Let's say it's for today at 2 o'clock. Let's say 1 o'clock. Just a brief mention, the Zoom basic plan only allows 40 minutes for 3 or more participants. 3 or more means you are one of the participants and 2 additional people. At the beginning of the COVID outbreak, just a few weeks ago, Zoom was offering unlimited time, but it appears that they've reverted back to just that 40-minute limit. Sometimes you'll have a gift pop up where they'll say, Zoom's giving you a gift, you have free unlimited. But you never know when that's going to happen. So a way to avert that is to, if you're having a longer than 40-minute meeting with the same people, you can schedule multiple meetings and send them the link after you get kicked out of your initial. But if it's just a one-on-one, I highly recommend this basic free plan because you have unlimited time with face-to-face with that one person. If it's a reoccurring meeting, you have this option. If you have daily check-ins with a staff member, you can get that face-to-face time and send them one link for all of those meetings. So they won't have to go in and find different links. You can also require a password. There have been people popping into meetings and webinars, I hear, and doing not the best things. So it might be a good idea to password your meetings, just to make sure that everything's, that no one will be hacking into your meeting. You also have the option of people joining with their video off and audio. You can have people join your meeting before the host, which is a nice option if you know that you have back-to-back meetings and you might be running late, especially if you have multiple people joining that meeting. Then they can hop in and converse with each other before you join. You can also mute participants upon entry. I don't recommend this if you want them to be chatting before you get to the meeting. A waiting room's just an area that you can have people join before, instead of having them join the meeting right away and conversing, they can be in a holding room. And then finally, that option of recording the meeting automatically to a local computer. With the upgraded version, you can record your meetings into a cloud. This allows you to go and review the audio and video kind of like you would a YouTube video. So you would save it. There's your meeting. You'd copy your URL or the invitation, which gives, if you have the upgraded plan, it would give you some call-in options. So if someone wasn't able to join via the internet, they could always just call into your meeting. Again, this is the free version, so you only have that online option. Once you're all done, if you go back, you'll click Start the Meeting, and then it will pop up. Unfortunately, since we're running on a Zoom platform, we won't be able to have it automatically pop up. So I have some slides of what happens when you hit Start the Meeting. So this is what will first pop up. You'll need to download the Zoom software. Don't worry, it's a very small download. And then you'll want to open in Zoom Meetings. You'll click that Open in Zoom Meetings to that downloaded software. And not the best flattering picture of myself. This is what you'll see when you join. You have the option down here in the bottom left-hand corner of muting yourself. You have the option of stop video. With this, if you are muted, a fun little fact that I learned this morning was that you can hold the space bar to unmute yourself. So if you're in a meeting and you just have something really brief to share, hold the space bar down on your computer and it will unmute you. And then when you lift your finger off of the space bar, it will put you back on mute. So that prevents you from having to go down to the bottom of your screen and click over and over. As many of us have been on Zoom meetings throughout the past few weeks, it's just a little tip that might help you out. And stopping the video right here, we have an up arrow. So as you can see, I'm on the beaches in Alberta, Michigan, but that's not where I am. I'm actually located in Colorado. If you wanted to hide some of your background, if you click this up arrow next to stop video, and your option is change virtual or choose virtual background, it'll be the last option right here. It'll show you, it'll pop up a screen that will allow you to upload an image. So this is great if you don't have the best looking office, or if you don't have an office at all. We're all in different situations, especially being quarantined. This is a great option it outlines your figure and you have any type of background you'd like. So I've seen people with offices in Tokyo, and you can even do just a general office background. My recommendation is to have good lighting facing you in order for this outline to be very prominent. So I've seen individuals with very good setups that will allow them to be fully visible. Okay, and then you can invite additional people if you forgot to invite them into your meeting. you can manage the participants. Sharing your screen would be great, or if you're collaborating on a project or you want to show something on your screen, you have a chat function. If you don't want to share something with the whole group, you can chat individuals, and then there's that record option for your computer. And just a little bit of humor, my coworker wanted me to share this with everyone. So this is our first day of quarantine, first day of Zoom meetings, and then by the end of the meetings, by day 14, you might look like this in your pajamas and comfortable. So I'd like to stop the presentation there and just see if there are any questions. Again, I'm doing, oh, I have a raised hand. Okay. So Sheila, you're unmuted if you'd like to pose a question. I think I'm not able to unmute you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Sheila.
Hi. So I'm stuck on changing my background. So every time, so you know, when you go into that little drop down box at the bottom,
Yep.
then it comes up and then it says in that little box in the pop-up, it'll say none. So then there's a little place where you can go add an image. And I went to add an image, you know, I just did a sky, for instance. And then when I came, it wouldn't allow me. It said that the screen has to be green to work. And it's checked, the boxes are checked that it's green.
Oh, are you able to uncheck that box?
Yeah, it doesn't allow me. And then when I go back in, then there's another one, there's two boxes. And one is about being, you know, green. The screen should be green for best effects, and then a full mirror image. I'm stuck on that. I can't get it around.
There should be a pop-up. There is a little thing that you need to download.
Oh.
And it should pop right up. And
well, how do I get
download?
I tried sharing my screen, and when I couldn't. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I'm happy to chat with you after,
okay.
And definitely to troubleshoot that.
Okay.
There is a pop-up that pops up that you have to download this little widget, if you will,
okay.
and then it'll allow you to do that.
Okay, I've been kind of messing with it, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, and hopefully it'll work out. And if it doesn't, feel free to.
There's my bedroom.
Feel free to reach out, and anyone else, if you have any trouble with that virtual Zoom thing or anything else with Zoom, feel free to reach out to me. I'll type in the chat. I'm Stephanie at oweesta.org, and happy to help out. Well, thank you for the question, Sheila. And did we have any other questions? I heard that Zoom is not secure. Yes, I also did. So I have a few other options. If you wanted a secure, we'll be going through a few different other platforms. Yes, there was just a few days ago, I guess Zoom might be under investigation for listening in on meetings. So it might not be the most secure, but it's fast and easy, and it's what a lot of people have been using. But throughout the webinar, I'll show you different options for maybe a more secure meeting. And that was the second question as well. And then another question was around how much does Zoom cost? We'll dive into the cost of all 4 platforms that I'll be covering today toward the end of the webinar. So thank you so much for your questions. I will dive into the next section. Okay, G Suite. So this was, someone had recommended covering a little bit of this. Well, what is G Suite? G Suite is the Google Suite. It offers, a lot of us are familiar with Gmail. It's that free email option. We have Google Hangouts. A lot of people have been using that. It allows Google users to interface with each other with video conferencing and chatting. A part of the suite is Google Docs, which is the Microsoft Word or the Google version of Microsoft Word. Google Forms allows for surveys. Google Drive is the keeper of all of your documents, which might include pictures as well. Google Calendar is that your calendar attached to your Gmail account. And we also have Google Sheets and Google Slides. Google Sheets is Excel, or Google's equivalent to Excel, and Google Slides is that Google equivalent to PowerPoint. Okay, let's explore. We've got, I, again, have my personal account because Oweesta doesn't have the business account. G Suite's offered for individuals as well as incorporating into businesses. And I'll cover a little bit about that in the pricing. But essentially, what Google offers is that you can use your domain. So if it was Oweesta, we could use at oweesta.org instead of at gmail.com at the end of our email if our business bought into the Google Suite. So here I've got my Google Slides up. Our first example, so Google is great because you can do a lot of collaborations. So this is connecting with your community kind of on a virtual level through sharing documents. As you can see, these were shared with me. And I'll show how to share. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. So if you want to create a new one, you can click on blank and there you go. There's options. They have templates just like you would with PowerPoint. But let's say you already built a PowerPoint. We're going to upload it. And maybe I would like to collaborate with my coworker Brian on this. So I'm sliding in the slides, uploading. And I promise there aren't that many slides. It might just be my bandwidth. There we go. So these are the slides that you've seen. If I wanted to collaborate with someone, you can go through and edit this just like you would any other PowerPoint. You can move things around. Yeah. So you can play around with this if you have a Gmail account. And let's say that I want my coworker to collaborate with this. I can send it to Brian. And sending the link. So this is this means that anyone can view it. And I've seen people do this, especially in the last few weeks, utilizing different platforms. You can send the invitation and they must be accepted to allow to edit it. So it might work with brian@oweesta.org. It would definitely work with anyone with a Gmail account or tied to Google. Or you can just send the link and anyone can edit with the link. So the privacy issue there, if you have sensitive materials, I'd recommend sending the invitation. But sending the link, if it's something that you're not worried about other people seeing or editing, if someone happens to hack into your account, then you can send it that way. You can also just share the link. So you can just copy that, put it into your mail, and send it on over. if it isn't tied to a Google account, then the person might open this Google Doc in their already logged into account and request access. So a few times I've had to do that myself, just because I wasn't able to access it any other way. So this is Google Slides. Google Docs works similarly. So I have several documents that were shared to me. And again, this is just an awesome way to share your documents. So here, if I were to have shared, it's currently only shared with me. Both and I'm going to send this over to Brian and see if he's able to jump on and share his screen, and then you can see how you can collaborate on the document. And Brian, are you able to pull up that Google Doc?
It hasn't sent to me yet.
Oh, it's in the chat.
Ah. Yes, I have.
Okay. So Brian's going to open up that document, and then you should see his cursor in here working. This is just a little webinar protocol document we put together. It has not been updated since COVID, and there's a lot of stuff that we do differently now. But we'll see. Okay, so what happened? Brian was needed to re-request. So I'm jumping into my Gmail, opening sharing settings. And I have to send it to his Gmail account. So like I had mentioned before, certain domains won't allow you to open it right away. And now you can see that Brian has joined in. He's got, oh, that's me. Brian should be able to join. Brian, were you able to access it?
Let me refresh my page.
And you can see he is an anonymous hyena. So up in this right-hand corner. And then we can collaborate on this document together. So it's pretty fast and easy, especially, and it's great if you have some time-sensitive stuff that's happening. Okay. And then same thing happens with Google Excel sheet, or Google's version of Excel sheets. You can pull up a sheet and then collaborate on a document. So here's one that I've collaborated on for a documentary that I was helping with funding, and a few people were able to throw in some other options. Yeah, Google Hangouts is also an option. Let's see. For collaborating and video sharing. Google Drive will hold all your documents. Let's see. There's Google Hangouts right there. This is all free. This is my free Gmail account, and it doesn't have to be tied to a business, but if you wanted it to be tied to your business, we'll talk about pricing and how to do all that a little later. Back to the PowerPoint. Okay, are there any questions with the Google Suite sharing of documents. We have a raised hand. And Robin, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
So in the Google Suites, or for those of us that are just used to Excel, standard Word, etc., does that mean I have to use the Google versions of those?
If you'd like to collaborate, then yes.
Okay. And then when someone sends me their documents, I can save the documents on my laptop.
Yep, and then you can open it up in Excel. So if you're used to using Excel and you're not collaborating or don't need that real time, if someone sent you a Google Sheet, you can always download it to your computer. And then work on it from there.
Then I could save it as an Excel.
Yep, right here.
All right, and then, so it just means that I have to use the Google version of Excel if I want to revise the document and send it back to my teammates.
If you don't have Excel yourself, or if you want people to collaborate on it with you in real time. So you don't have to use Google at all if you're just using Excel, but if someone doesn't have Excel and they only have Google, then this is a way to work with them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And again, if you have any additional questions or stuff for clarification, just reach out to me at stephanie@oweesta.org. Okay. So moving on, join me. So this is an interest. Oh, we did have one more. Do clients also need a Google account to use Google Hangouts? Yes. I believe they will probably need, just like we saw with Brian, where he wasn't able to use the Google Doc in his Oweesta.org account. Your client is going to have a Gmail account in order to use Google Hangouts, most likely. Okay, thank you for your questions. Join me. This is a platform for video conferencing, easy screen sharing, and it has an online phone option. So let's take a look at Join Me. This is my free account. So it's just as if I had, just as if you had logged in and gotten your free account. So there's no smoke and mirrors here. So I'm going to ask Brian, I'm going to send him this in the chat again, or he can just type it in because he can see it. If he types in join.me/Stephanie Marie Cote, he will join me. So I'll click and start the meeting. The beauty with Join Me is that you have your own individual URL. So mine was, and Brian's joining the meeting. Awesome. We have the option for audio, screen sharing, and we have 2 participants. And for this demo, Brian, are you able to share your screen?
Sure.
Okay. So this is great because your client can show you their screen. Brian is now the presenter.
Sorry, my computer is telling me I have to add permissions real quick.
But if you'd like to share your screen, if you hit share your screen, I have myself 3 screens up right now, as you can see. I have my main desktop and then 2 monitors. This also allows you to share an application window. So if I just wanted Brian or whoever I'm talking with to see the PowerPoint slideshow that I have presenting, I would just share that with him. And you can also pull up, I have a lot of Chrome tabs up. You can share just the Chrome tab. So if you didn't want someone to see like all of the stuff on the back of your desktop, that's a great option. And Brian got kicked out of the meeting. Okay. So we were able to see Brian's desktop. He's got a few screens pulled up. And yeah, so if someone wanted to show you their screen, and let's say, for example, Sheila had an issue with doing her virtual background on Zoom, I could use Join Me in order for her to show me what's going on. If there's like, if Zoom's giving her a unique error that I can't troubleshoot just by talking it through, she could share her screen with me. Okay. Thank you, Brian. I'm just gonna exit out of Join Me. And any questions with that platform? It's really simple. There isn't quite a lot to it, especially the free version. Just a minute to see if anyone's asked any. Okay, I'm seeing no questions. We'll move on. There'll be plenty of time for more questions at the end. The last piece I wanted to cover was Microsoft 365. This is a platform that is near and dear to my heart because I use it every day. So Office 365 offers a lot of options. We have the Outlook, which is the email. OneDrive is an online cloud where you can save documents. They have Word, which is an online version, kind of like what we saw with Google Suite, and a few other things. Google Teams, I'm going to show you. And so let's explore. So this is my Office 365. As you can see in the upper right-hand corner, I'm logged into Oweesta's 365. These apps, there are a lot here. Again, the fillable forms for surveys, Excel, we have our calendar. As you can see, this is my monthly calendar. Same with Google. They also have a calendar that you can collaborate on. I'm going to click on my coworker who is away on paternal leave or maternity leave. So as you can see, it overlays everything that your coworkers might have. So if it's a really busy week, we can even do week share. I just really like this option because it's online and it's fast. I won't go into too much detail on the other pieces because we're all familiar with PowerPoint and Excel, Office 365 when you log in. it has all those same options that Google Suite has. So yeah, we'll get into pricing a little later on how much this would cost. I did want to show a cool desktop feature that Microsoft has, Google Teams. So as you can see, we have chat options, team members, and up here you can see I've been chatting with Brian, and I said, hey, are you done with working with that TPS report? He says, no, I'm stuck in a piece. And with this chat function, Brian was able to attach a file, and this is all happening in real time, just like it's a chat. And I'm able to pull up what he's talking about, pull up the PDF. And if you click the upper right-hand corner, there's an option to download that PDF. So if it's something that I need to collaborate on, I can download it to my desktop. It isn't real time, but it's quite fast. I can edit the document and then upload it and send it right back. And I love this feature as well. You can throw in some GIFs. There's Kermit typing away. And all jokes aside, so there aren't actually TPS reports in our organization. Today I had to send him over our link to our webinar series, so I just typed it in, or copied it in and sent it over. If everyone on your team is logged into Microsoft Teams, it's awesome. It cuts down on having to email back and forth because you can just in real time type it in and get a response right away, just like you were chatting. You can also screen share. So if you're collaborating, or Brian's a relatively new hire, so through all of his training, when we had to do it remote, I just said jump on Microsoft Teams and shared my screen and showed him how to do stuff. You can also do an audio call. If you wanted to talk through, you can do all three at the same time. There's also the option for video conferencing if you wanted that face-to-face interaction. And so that's Microsoft Teams. And are there any questions about Microsoft? Those, I know it's like a very quick overview. Do another raised hand. Can you hear Robin?
Stephanie, so is Microsoft Teams best used for inter-coworker use and not for group?
Excellent question. Yes, it's just for collaborating within Teams. Thank you so much for clarifying or for asking that. Yes, it's Google Teams and the Microsoft Suite is going to just be for that inter-office work.
And so when you say video conferencing, that would be the same it would be similar to Zoom among staff members.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, and I'll see, are there any other questions? I'll get into pricing next. So this is just the Google search of pricing. So someone had asked earlier, what would it be, how much would it cost to upgrade my Zoom? As you can see, it ranges from free to $20 a month. It basically just increases the amount of time and participants in the meetings. So as you can see, if you upgrade, you do have that cloud recording option. And then as you level up, it's different options. I looked into, if you have the Pro version, on one of your accounts in order to add that webinar addition. Because it's an add-on. It's not, I think you can get it as its own thing, but it integrates well with being an add-on. It's $40 a month. So the difference between a Zoom meeting and a Zoom webinar is that with a meeting, you're going to have everyone joining in with video. You can have them join in not with video, but it's just a little bit more clutter on the screen. And with the webinar, I believe, with the meetings, with the big one, you can do breakout rooms, which is an awesome option. You can't do that with the webinar. So if you wanted people to like break out into groups of 2 to discuss something, the meetings are great. Then they can converse with each other one-on-one. We're looking into doing a funder speed dating at our online capital access convening that way. So it should be fun, one-on-one time virtually. So there's a few things that you can do by upgrading your meetings. An option for nonprofits, if you're a nonprofit joining, TechSoup is an organization that works with large companies on delivering free to low cost software. And it just so happens Zoom is on their, is in their catalog of resources. So if you're interested in Zoom Pro, you can get it at a good discount at $65 a year with TechSoup. Next, Google for Nonprofits. You'll get that whole G Suite for free. So it's a G Suite for Nonprofits basic package, and you can use your domain at no extra charge. So if you are a nonprofit that is like, we're bare bones, grassroots, we don't have a lot of overhead to cover expensive products like Microsoft, then this might be an option for you. That'll include your Gmail, the Docs, the calendar, the Drive, and that Hangouts. So free, yay. The next product we had was the Microsoft 365. And for nonprofits, Microsoft is doing $3 a month per user. And you'll have to contact for this option. It says donation. So again, it might be kind of like that TechSoup base. They might give it to smaller nonprofits for free. But you wouldn't have the applications included. And with those applications, it appears they will have desktop versions as well. So if you're a team of 4, $12 a month for this service is quite reasonable. And again, TechSoup has Office 365, just the cloud version for free to $14 a user per month. So it might be an option for you. It looks like Microsoft might be a better deal, unless you could get it for free from TechSoup. And last but not least, we've got Join Me, which was the least cost effective. So after my 14-day trial on Join Me that I just shared, I would have to upgrade to $10 a month for the light version. Pro and business just go up from there. So again, that's increasing the number of participants, the cloud storage, recordings. Yeah. And just briefly, here are a few other options for you to explore on your own time. I'll be sending the slides with everyone that registered for the webinar. So you're welcome to review them and to see, oh, what were those other options Stephanie had talked about. Facebook. A lot of us use Facebook for social networking. Facebook Messenger offers chatting, video calls. You can also file share if you create a group on Facebook. So if you have clients that are all in the same training, you could create a group and then share those training files. You can also do some polling within that group and many other features. TeamViewer, this was recommended, but I don't highly recommend it. They do remote desktop accessing. So that's if you have your desktop in your, let's say you had to leave it in your office and you couldn't bring it home. The TeamViewer you could remote in, and then you can also screen share. Skype. A lot of us, if anyone studied abroad, may have been familiar with Skype back about 15 years ago. Skype offers a lot of options now. Back when I was using it, it was just for video time, FaceTiming with my parents abroad. But now they have audio and HD, video calling, smart messaging, which is just chatting. It uses all screen sharing, and then it's responsive to all devices. So if you can call using your tablet, cell phone, anything that Skype will download to. And Blue Jeans, this is a webinar platform, but you can do video calling and screen sharing with this as well. All those other options, aside from Facebook, have prices that are tied to them that I didn't cover today. So it's up to you to do your research and to find out what works best for your organization. And on to questions. So for Google Suite and creating a Google account, it is not necessary to have or create a Google account. You can use your current email, is what someone is saying. I think it depends on the domain that you're using and what you're trying to access. So you might just play around with that. Any other questions or concerns? I'm happy to unmute anyone, or if you have any comments. I am not an expert in any of these platforms, but I just wanted to share what was available out right now. And Robin, can you hear?
Okay, so Steph, Office 365, and what's the difference between Office 365 and Google Docs? It seems like Office 365 can do everything Google Docs can. Can you share docs and collaborate, etc.? No.
Yes, you can. Yep.
Okay, so sorry, but most people, maybe I should qualify that and say most people my age are indoctrinated into Excel, Word, PowerPoint, those basic software pieces. It seems like Office 365 would be better than Google Docs.
If you're indoctrinated into it, then yes, I would say Office 365 is a better route to go, just because it will maintain most of those features, but it'll allow you to have an online platform to share and collaborate.
Who uses Google Docs then? What, those folks are not using Excel, Word, they're using something else? Are those like Apple users or?
It could be, or it could just be people that don't have access to Microsoft products.
Okay, so they chose Google as their software for Word and whatnot.
Sorry, what was that?
So those are folks that didn't choose, they don't use Excel, et cetera. They affirmatively chose the Google version of Excel and Word and et cetera.
Yep, it's a free version.
Okay.
So for instance, when I was in transition between jobs, I strictly used Google because I couldn't afford to buy the Microsoft package. So everything I was doing was going through that. It was a great workaround because I could upload any Excel or Word doc and then download it as a .doc or a .xls.
Okay.
So,
but also, all right, so Microsoft 365, is there something that, I mean, can Microsoft 365 do the Zoom function too, or no?
no, unfortunately, you won't be able to video time with, you can video with coworkers on the same platform within the same domain, but not with everyone. So you'd have to have an outside platform for that, like Zoom or Join Me or Google Hangouts.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And they have another hand raised. And Bree? Or unmute. Hello? Oh, I'm trying to unmute you.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I know a couple of nonprofits that use Google Docs, the Google Suite instead of Office, just for budgetary reasons. Google tends to be a lot cheaper, especially if you only have under 15 staff.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, thank you for that. Yeah, Google's a great option. Totally free for nonprofits that are of that smaller size. Okay, any additional questions? I know this was a very brief overview of what some of the options are for connecting with your communities. We didn't go too in depth, but I'm always available. Please reach out to me. It's, again, my email is stephanie@oweesta.org. And just to preface, I'm not an expert, but I'm happy to help in any way that I can. One question was, what platform am I using for this webinar? It's Zoom, the Zoom webinar platform. So Oweesta had a pro account and upgraded to that $40 a month to be able to host webinars on Zoom. I also am familiar with GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar and GoToMeeting, which we didn't cover, but those are some options. If you're working with those and have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me for those. And I will be sending an email out to everyone that registered. We actually had 60 registrants. I'll have the slide deck, the recording of this webinar, and a few additional pieces of information and resources. So as always, please reach out to us, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and we are on LinkedIn. to get all the latest information from Oweesta. Also, please subscribe to our newsletter. And thank you all so much. If you don't see your thank you on here, please send it to me. We're always adding new languages to native languages to our thank you deck slide. So thank you and have a wonderful day.